I'll be honest with you, man, I was gonna make a video talking about Bruce Boudreau and the question as to whether or not the Canucks are gonna bring him back, because for some reason that's been a very big topic here in Vancouver the past few days. But instead, we're making a video about the Canucks and some of the players on the team once again. This is because during Bruce and his press conference I guess it's before, right? Because the game is tomorrow against Vegas. This is after the practice and before the team is heading out on the flight tomorrow. Something like that, right? We had ourselves a Bruce Boudreau press conference. The link will be in the description if you want to go ahead to Twitter and take a look at that. And there are indeed some updates he gives on some of the players on this team that, oh boy, it's just like, you don't want to see this. You really don't want to see this. And once you start thinking about it, and, it's easy to fall down a circle or a snowball of thoughts. It's easy to spiral down and think, okay, if this happens, therefore this other thing has to happen, therefore this other thing has to happen, and therefore this, and therefore that, and then it's like, okay, darn it. Darn it. So, before we get underway with Bruce and what exactly was he said about some of the players, let's just give a big shout out to Bo Horvat, because yeah, the guy's 27 years old today. Can you believe that? Like, I don't know about you, but for me personally, like, I'm just gonna interject here with my own personal feelings about this, but like, I'm 21 years old. I'm turning 22 in July. And for me, Bo Horvat was the first ever young guy, quote unquote, the Canucks had in their lineup, because he was drafted in 2013, right as I started paying super close attention to the team and the draft and all the players they had in the organization, etc. Sure, I watched the team in 2011, I saw them go to the finals, but I didn't know about Nick Jensen, I didn't know about the AHL, I didn't know about the draft and all that until 2013, when I started paying more attention after seeing the team get eliminated by San Jose 4-0 in the first round. At that point, I saw the draft and I was like, oh crap, they got this new kid, Bo Horvat, who scored a goal with 0.1 seconds left to win the OHL championship. They got this guy, Hunter Shinkaruk, whom a lot of people were saying could be the next Patrick Kane. They got this Jordan Subban guy. Hey, I know his older brother. PK's a pretty good guy, right? So Jordan should be good too? I was paying attention to the draft for the first time ever in 2013, and for Bo Horvat to be the first ever guy to kick off that process for me, it was super cool when I saw him playing in the preseason in 2013-14. Unfortunately, he didn't make the team, and I heard on the radio driving home from school one day, I was getting driven by my parents because I was only 13 years old, when they said on the radio, Vancouver Canucks have sent down Horvat, they've sent down Shinkaruk, they're going to their junior teams, I was like, what the hell? Why did we get these new guys for nothing? Why did we draft these guys and we're not going to use them? And I didn't realize, there's development that goes on. There's other hockey being played outside the NHL that is significant for prospects and their overall profiles. But eventually, Bo Horvat made the team in 2014, that season where he suited up for the first time and the Canucks made the playoffs. They lost to Calgary. Radim Vrbata had 30 goals that year. Sedins had 70 points each. They were each some of the top goal scorers and top point producers in the NHL. Vrbata was, for the goal scorers at least. And that season, I was like, okay, this is cool. Bo Horvat is 19 years old. He's on the team. He's doing his thing. And I was just on the ride, paying attention and being excited. Well, we're 7 years into the future now, and Bo Horvat is 27. That feels like a lifetime ago for me. Like, I just got out of college 2 years ago. I've been doing this YouTube thing full time, and I'm very happy to be doing it full time. But the way time has been moving, it's so strange to me, man. Like, when I was talking about Bo Horvat being a rookie, I was in 9th grade. 9th grade in IT class, talking to some of my friends that were trying to get into hockey, telling them, yeah, this Bo Horvat dude, he's going to be great. He's going to be the next captain. He's only 19 years old. He's going to be really good. And he has been pretty good. He's the captain of the team, and now he's 27, and I can't really believe that I spent 4 minutes on this commentary just going over my reminiscing of the past. But I know a lot of people that watch this channel are a lot older than I am. It's definitely something I don't take for granted. I'm very appreciative that people that are a lot older than me are willing to give me the time of their acknowledgement, because I do realize how valuable that is. But yeah, Bo Horvat turning 27, this is the first experience for me that's really gotten me like, oh crap, we're all getting old. Huh, that sucks. But either way, let's go over onto Bruce and what he said on the press conference. Pretty much two big things I wanted to take away from this entire thing. Actually, three. For Tucker Poolman, defenseman that was out for a while because of a few head injury concerns. Bruce did not give a direct, blunt, okay, this is what it's going to be update, but he did kind of insinuate that it might not be very soon that we see Tucker Poolman suiting up again, especially with 12 games or something left to go in the season. So unfortunately for him, it doesn't really look like good news there. But he also talked about two other players on the team. Firstly, Brock Boeser, and how he's not going to go on the trip to Vegas to play in the game tomorrow because of an upper body injury. Bruce said that they're going to reevaluate it and see what happens, whether or not he's able to play when the Canucks come back, etc., which is, normal stuff. But you gotta think about this with a little bit of a domino effect situation playing in your mind. Brock Boeser is out with an upper body injury. What happened in the last game that was akin to an upper body problem? Well, the one thing that stands out to me is when Elias Pettersson went to hit Ben Hutton in front of the penalty box, and Brock Boeser happened to be also on Hutton, to the point that when Elias Pettersson hit Hutton, he also hit Brock Boeser in the arm with a pretty good amount of force on that play, too. When you saw Brock leave the game with his arm slooped down, he was dragging it behind him, he left the game, and he came back for the next period, I believe, but you still remember that, and you're like, oh, is that the upper body injury that Brock Boeser had to the point that he's not able to play tomorrow? Is that the upper injury that Brock Boeser had that sidelined him out with 12 games left in the season that Bruce Boudreau was saying they're going to have to get reevaluated? This might be, if everything that Alvin has been saying comes to fruition here, the thing that ends Brock Boeser's tenure as a Canuck. If he gets traded and he doesn't play a game anymore in the 2021-2022 season, which would be a pretty rational thing, like, hey, Brock Boeser's arm is hurt. Don't play the guy until his arm is better, and if he's not better at 100%, absolutely not try to risk it, because if you're going to trade this guy away because he's an RFA, you want to make sure you get maximum value. Elias Pettersson is kind of the guy that ended Brock Boeser's career with the Canucks. Is that an overly and unnecessarily dramatic way to look at it? Probably, but what if that's the case? What if Brock Boeser is not able to play for the next 12 games, and he ends off his career with the hit against Ben Hutton and Pettersson as the last significant moment he has? Would that just not be so, oh my goodness, poetic, dare I say, of Brock Boeser and his time with the Canucks? From the Jake Virtanen leaving the door open Silk Sonic style to getting hit by Cal Clutterbuck, ending his rookie season and ending any chance he had at beating Matthew Barzal, for the Calder that year, the wrist problems, and the entire 21-22 season in his contract year that just did not go as well as we hoped it would have. Man, having Elias Pettersson be the guy that sort of ends it in a way, that's like the A2 Brute moment for sure. Now, also from Bruce Boudreau's press conference, he had a thing to say about Quinn Hughes. Quinn missed practice today, not because he's injured, but because he's sick. And Bruce was talking about how there were a whole bunch of guys on the team throwing up yesterday, which is why they canceled practice. Quinn Hughes was throwing up today, and so they don't want to go out there and make anybody else in the team just exposed to what it is that Quinn has. This is likely the same thing that Bo Horvat had, just some sort of stomach bug. You see this happen once in a while with a few sports teams, but Bo got affected by it in the middle of a game a few days ago. We had some other players, I believe it was Richardson also, that had some reportings of that. I'm not too sure. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. But some players, according to Bruce, had this yesterday. They canceled practice because of it for Quinn. If he isn't good to go tomorrow, like he's not proper and healthy, then he's not going to join the team in Vegas. He's not going to play tomorrow. And if the Canucks are playing against the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas with no Quinn and no Brock, I'm really only watching for like 3 players. Like, I want to see Podkolzin do a thing, I want to see JT Miller get points, and I want to see if Elias Pettersson can do some pretty good stuff as well. I guess you could say Bo too, because the guy's a birthday boy and everything, but yeah, the Canucks are in a pretty difficult situation right now, not just in terms of the coaching and whether or not Bruce is going to come back. We can make a video about that in a few days, but yeah, no, when it comes to the updates on the players, Bo Horvat, happy birthday, can't believe the guy's 27 years old. Brock Boeser being out in the way that he has been out, it's kind of freaky, but it appears that Elias Pettersson hit might have been a lot worse than we thought. And then we have Quinn Hughes also dealing with some sort of stomach bug, stomach flu, and throwing up. So hopefully speedy recovery is going to everybody, as well as Tucker Poolman too. The guy wasn't really the best player for the Canucks, but still, you got to feel for somebody who's dealing with migraines in the way that he has. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about the Vancouver Canucks and these updates from Bruce. I hope you enjoyed this. And bye.